of course, even a single session can bring tremendous benefits and trigger the healing process. But hopefully your client will recognize the positive progress and will come back a few times to clear out all those old traumas. And most will stop here, possibly because they don't know that there is much more can be done. And for many clients, it is a practical question of time and money. But if you don't stop here, once you get through that layer of pain, past-life regression can bring even more profound benefits. And on that stage, the tools that you will learn in the second part of this course will be indispensable. I'm talking about numerology and astrology, and you do not have to become experts. Just learn what I give you, and you will reap amazing benefits. Even for yourself, compare your chart with your spouse and especially with your children. And then you'll understand there is absolutely no coincidence why you have these children. You'll notice that your charts plug in and complete each other perfectly. And you'll understand what an amazing team you can make and how much you can achieve together. And I know we're used to thinking that we are teaching our children, but it's a two-way street. They come to teach us too. Your child's soul might be much older than yours. Your child may be a much more evolved being than you are. So pay attention to what your children say. And when they're very little, up to the age of 5 or 6, they usually can remember easily the past life. So really, my son, when he was little, he used to repeat it all the time. And I was watching you, and I picked you again, just as I picked you every time. Many, many years ago, my guru, my spiritual teacher, told me that I will give birth to my most important teacher. And it was more than 10 years later, I gave birth to my son. And I've decided then that now I will have different life, away from all the violence. I tried very hard to shelter him as much as I could. No news were allowed in the house. He hasn't been exposed to any violence, even on television. And even cartoons were filtered very carefully. And I decided that I will raise him with no guns. I made a rule that no gun will cross our door and he will not have even toy guns. As he was growing, we started to attend play dates. And boys will be boys as they were playing with guns, running around, screaming, and my son never joined him. Although those play dates, I never stopped him, I never told him not to play. So I felt bad. I thought maybe I'm robbing him of these experiences. Maybe it is important to have gun toys for the boys. And I went ahead and I bought a few, brought him home, and saw a reaction that I really did not expect. My son pushed those boxes, screaming upstairs, and locked himself in the bedroom. I was standing there by the door, listening to him crying. And when he finally unlocked the door, he said, "Mommy, how could you do this? You promised me no more wars and no more guns. You know, I can't always protect you, but I don't want to lose you." And back then, I did not have an explanation for those words. I didn't know what to think. At that age, I was pretty sure he didn't even know what the word war means. It's much later when I did both of our charts, his and mine, astrological. Here is his ruler planet is Mars. Mars is a god of wars. And in my chart, Mars is very prominent too. And here's our numerological chart. I want to remind you, Mars is number 9. Here it is in my chart, and it is. Here's the difference. Having number 9 in this particular chart shows that in one or more of your past lives, you were a warrior. Did you notice the difference between his and my chart? Here. Mine is completely cut out from all those other numbers. Numerologists will call it isolated. Having any number isolated in your chart means that you are violently killed for specific knowledge, skills, or talents that you possessed. And each number can tell you which skill or talent it was. Let's get back to the chart. If you compare these two charts, you'll notice that they complete each other. They plug in perfectly. Going back to number 9, number 9 is a high-skilled warrior, someone that possesses special knowledge, someone that can strategize, someone that possesses very special skills. That's what number 9 is. We both, me and my son, both have number 9. Mine is cut off from all other numbers, and his is not. Which means that his experience was probably a little less traumatic than mine. He wasn't killed then, but most likely he witnessed my death, and that is why he told me, I can't always protect you, but I don't want to lose you again. That makes perfect sense now. And that explains why he could access the memories of this particular time much easier than it was for me. Now, knowing all this, I didn't have to poke in the dark blindly. Now I have a very specific destination. And I was able to regress myself to that specific time. It wasn't pleasant, it was pretty traumatic. But once I passed that pain, that fear, I was able to remember, recover, unlock all that knowledge and skills that were hidden from me. And that was not just some elusive information, it was very real, very practical, and I was able to use it in my courses where I teach survival skills. And I really hope that this knowledge that I passed on to other people will help to save some lives.